support with that from our parent company. And I think that's definitely one of our Achilles heels in terms of trying to get our great services out there. It's really tough to compete with the other companies who have a much larger budget for that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, long-term frustration.
And so that's actually a nice kind of transition. What is your understanding of how some of your competitors are playing in this outreach space? Are they doing some of the same things? Do they do things differently?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the services provided, it's pretty much the same. You don't see a lot of diversity there. There's still, an athletic trainer at high school, for example, 5 days a week, or there's a volleyball tournament that has 4 athletic trainers monitoring it. So the actual staffing model is the same. They utilize it the same as we do. I think what they excel in is they, utilize billboards. They'll use advertisements at sporting events. They'll even come in, like if we have a home hockey rink, they'll buy advertising space on our boards and say, hey, Twin Cities Orthopedics, walk-in clinics or baseball event or whatever it is. And because we don't have the funding for it, they often don't know that it's us that's at that setting. They think we're affiliated with TCO or one of the other ones. So I would say just their commitment to getting their name out there and making their names more of a household name. We find that parents and students tend to go there if they're looking for care just because of the name recognition, even though the services are, I would argue, the same if not better with us. Mm-hmm. It's tough to fight the marketing machine.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, interesting. Molly, do you have other questions on sort of some of the things we talked about?
Yeah, I just had kind of two, and I think you just hit on one of them.
Sure.
You kind of just mentioned it, but you talked about how keeping people out of coming to see you guys at all is a measure of success. I was just curious if them actually coming to you when they are injured is also a measure of success in your assessment.
It is, yeah. So using I'll use our high schools as an example. We keep a Excel spreadsheet that all of our high school athletic trainers utilize. So when they know that they sent an athlete to see one of our providers, they'll enter in their data on the spreadsheet, and then at the end of the year, we will kind of summarize everything and see, okay, which relationships produced a lot of referrals, how many MRIs did we order, how many physical therapy appointments, just to get a more financial representation of the impact that those have had. The challenge with that is, oftentimes, and this is a good thing, oftentimes kids will, go see one of our doctors without letting the athletic trainers know. So certainly there are some gaps in the data, but I think, if anything, the data is underrepresenting the amount of referrals we get. So that's one way we do it. The other challenge with that is again, if you're fortunate enough to have a really injury-free season, I think your whole production will look lower, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah,
but
totally.
It's a balance, trying to make sure that you're still producing enough to make your relationship worthwhile, but yet not only emphasizing the number of injured kids you have.
What is the percentage that you think of the kids who get injured that come to you guys? Or the ones that I guess you've done the assessment on that end up coming to you?
Yeah, out of every 10, I would say we probably get, for those that truly need a provider assessment, I would say we probably get anywhere from 2 to 3. So it's a little low. I know for sure where we're losing a lot of them are the acute care things. Mm-hmm. Our group doesn't provide any after-hours care unless you were to go to just a general urgent care that's in Alina. Whereas our competitors do have, either at least, open till 8. Some of them are even open 24 hours where you can come in with an ortho injury and goodness, I mean, based off of the data we've seen, it seems like majority of our kids will go there. Yeah. They'll then get referred into that system, and we'll only see them afterwards if they're continuing to have trouble. That's for sure one area we definitely struggle is trying to capture that acute injury population. Usually the more chronic ones we can route to our providers, and they're that works great, but the acute ones are tough.
Okay, yeah. And then just to make sure I understood, the baseball program does every single player go through that?
They do, yeah. Everyone who signs up for it. So everyone who signs up gets the same experience.
Yeah. Okay. And then are there any incentives or any, I guess, how much do you guys market that, or how much do people know as an incentive for them to attend to try to get every single player on the team to actually come through?
Yeah, and that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up. It's my first year running that, so one of the things I'm looking to do, I've expanded our list of coaches that we send it out to. Initially, it was only a list of like 15 to 20 high school baseball coaches in the area, and I've expanded that to include pretty much anyone who has a 952, 612, or 763 area code. We'll send it out to those guys. And then I'm interested as well in looking to see if I can get contact information for youth coaches as well, because certainly there's a lot of those parents who maybe don't have a kid at the JV or varsity level who this would still benefit. So that's a new push I'm hoping to start this year.
Okay.
It's just trying to capture a bigger population of it.
Yeah. Okay. But there's no if you show up you get a Starbucks gift card or $10 off of your alignment.
No.
Or that, right? Okay.
Nothing yet. No. And they do make the visits when they come in. It's free for everyone.
Okay.
So I think a lot of parents like that aspect of it, that they can get this pretty thorough evaluation without being charged anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So we have a few more minutes here, and I want to be respectful of your time, but wanted to float a couple ideas at you to get some reaction, if that was okay. And one is around some of this event type of outreach, and then there's a second one, which, if we get to, great. So the first idea being, you guys are running an event like this baseball event, and you mentioned there aren't a ton of tools or anything that you're using other than the Goyaner and the basically having a provider there.
Yep.
As you think about other sports, and this is maybe not quite as applicable to baseball, maybe it is more specific to soccer or football or basketball or something like that. But would you ever consider using a tool that would help in the assessment, a digital tool that would help in the assessment? The provider would use it, and then it would spit out kind of that scoring. And then instead of having a folder to send home with the patient, they could actually just download an app and get programming spit out into that app based on their specific assessment?
Yeah. I think especially with the age of people coming in, I think they'd like that a lot. I think they would be less apt to lose what we give them that way. And I think that would almost be a good marketing tool, because everyone gets real excited when you bring new technology into events like this. So yeah, if we could get that to apply, absolutely. I think patients would like that. I think providers would like that. It'd make our job easier too, because we don't have to wrangle paperwork. So I think a lot would be in favor of that.
Yeah, and so specific on the providers, do you guys have any sort of standard protocol or sort of workflow pieces that you have them use in clinic today? I know you mentioned Epic, but is there any sort of all Allina physical therapists, athletic trainers use this approach to our visits? Do you guys have that kind of method or no?
The closest thing we would have to that is, since the athletic trainers are the ones doing the prescribing for the providers, we all have a shared set of templates that we use that have available fields that you can enter in data. So as we're getting trained in as athletic trainers in this setting, we know that we always have to do range of motion in these 4 planes for the shoulder. We have to do strength testing for these 5 muscle groups for the shoulder. We have to do these special tests. So the way we document kind of guides us in terms of a protocol through everything. But I wouldn't say we necessarily have other than maybe with concussion management, that's definitely a more standardized protocol. But for standard orthopedic injuries, we mainly just follow what we have created in the templates, and all the athletic trainers utilize those to document and do their exam.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so then along that line, if you had a tool that could help facilitate some of that template, I don't know if it'd be replace or replace sort of the templates you use. So again, having a digital tool that providers could use to input the scoring and then actually use to customize the programming. Is that something that you think your providers would be receptive to?
I think they would, and I think, to be honest, the athletic trainers would be the people who would be most excited about it,